Our focus this afternoon is on God's gift to us of the earth in which we live, that most precious of all gifts, the very basis of our life, and that we know to be at risk. So as we share with the bishops this afternoon, we share our concern for this gift of the planet, our responsibility as stewards of it.
We have frequent cyclone and floods, which we did not have 5 years ago. So now it is too many every year. And we don't know, it is a very populated, poor country, you know. And we don't know how to survive from this climate change effect. The poor people actually don't understand what is happening, what is going on about the climate change, because they are looking for the food, you know. So they cut the trees and sell it to have some food, you know. So they don't bother about how to protect, you know, the nature. And at the same time, there are some businessmen. They're very clever. They occupied the ponds and canals and make very high-rise building to make money. But they also don't know, or if they know, they're also not very serious about that. Even the government also, sometimes we find they're not very serious how to do it. But at present, Church of Bangladesh and some other NGOs, we are trying to build the awareness among the people.
What would you like to say to the West about climate change? Do you feel like we're doing enough?
I also thinking that it is good when Bangladesh is standing beside someone from USA. And you have heard the President Bush's reaction to remission the gas, you know. So I would say that the rich countries, especially the church, you should raise your voice for the protecting, not today, maybe Bangladesh is affected, but tomorrow, UK or USA may be affected.
Americans are not ignorant people. We have many opportunities for education, and it's all over the place. So it is a form of denial, in the case of the United States, that we don't want to know, and so we don't know. That is a serious failure of responsibility as citizens of that country and as human beings on this planet.
We have taken a position that on one level makes some sense, that India and China should take part in reducing their greenhouse emissions at the same level that we do, and yet we are countries that have benefited greatly from producing these greenhouse gases, and now we want no other country to have that advantage and don't want to give up our advantage in the meantime. So it's a result of protecting our own economies and our own businesses and at the expense, I think, of the rest of the world.
Back in Tanzania, here in the West, and everywhere in the world, to find cheaper and alternative sources of energy for cooking and other things. Back home, we need to encourage people to plant more trees. When you cut a tree, you must plant another tree right there. And I see myself, the rest of human community, that we are so selfish, that there is so much demand for energy in this planet, and we do not take care of what we take from the planet.
As a Christian, I don't think we can ever say that all hope is lost. But those statistics should concentrate our minds on this above almost everything else. This is not something that might go wrong in some distant future. It's something that's going wrong now, and the world we're bequeathing to our children and our children's children is a world that may not sustain their life. Christians have a responsibility to do this in partnership with other people of faith. We've talked a lot about this to our brothers and sisters in the Muslim and the Hindu and the Sikh and the Jewish communities, because we share the same values, the values of an earth created by a loving God who's entrusted it to human beings. On this, above all else, we should be working together to show that we will not accept anything less than radical leadership from our politicians.
If the sea level in Bangladesh rises by 1 meter, then in 20 years' time, 1/3 of the country will go underwater, and millions will be homeless. I have read that the developed countries with less than 20% of the world's population are responsible for 80% atmospheric carbon that has been accumulated over the last 250 years. Bangladesh is a negligible contributor in terms of global carbon emissions. It releases only 0.3 metric ton per capita, compared to a figure of 9.4 for the UK and even higher for the USA. We have borrowed this earth from our children and not inherited from our ancestors. So we have a moral responsibility to do everything possible to save and protect this planet Earth so that our children, our grandchildren, and the future generations have a better place to live and enjoy life.